Hello, welcome to the demonstration for our final project for virtual reality. Our group is Xander Fernald, John Evo, and Lindsay Young, and we have made the Hall of Minigames. Behind me here, we have 6 doors leading to 6 different rooms with either some sandbox or some minigame for the user to play with. If you're feeling indecisive, we have a 6-sided die in the starting room, which can be rolled by pressing R, which will help you decide on which door to go through. In this case, we've rolled a 6, but for the sake of this demo, we'll be going through the rooms in order as they are numbered. So heading over here to door number 1, we can enter the door by pressing E, and we warp into the first room, which is the dice room. In the dice room, we have 5 6-sided dice that are color-coded, which can each be rolled individually with a hotkey using the number keys 1 through 5. These dice can be rolled to play any number of dice games, like Yahtzee or whatever other dice game you want to play. And just like that, you can roll all of the dice, or you can select certain dice to roll. Like, say, if I was playing Yahtzee and I wanted to go for a large straight, I would just roll the blue one to try and roll a 5. And, oh, actually I got the 5. Interesting. So, large straight, there we go. And you can press E to go back to the starting room at any time. So we'll do that and explore the next room. In room number 2, here we have the Dark Maze. In this dark maze, our goal is to find a slice of pizza at the end of the maze, or if we get lost or we can't find it, we can press E to return to the starting room at any time. So we'll go through the maze, hopefully rather quickly here. We've made all of the walls very dark and opted to make it kind of dark aside from the point light in the middle. To kind of add some challenge for the user playing it, since we don't have proper VR hardware. If we had proper VR hardware, we might have made it a lighter color to avoid disorienting the player while they're trying to navigate through the maze. And we left the floor a different color because when everything was black, it was too disorienting, even in a normal setup. So anyways, here's the pizza, and when we grab it, it is pizza time.
Pizza time.
We have an audio clip that plays when you pick up the pizza, and the piece of pizza disappears. Now we can press E to go back to the starting room. Back in the starting room, now we can go explore room number 3. So here we are in room number 3. This is the domino room. This is one of the more sandboxy rooms rather than mini games, kind of like the dice room. So in here, we can press X to activate the gravity and watch these setup dominoes all fall, which we'll go ahead and do. So they're lined up in a way that they'll be knocked over, and the whole line of dominoes will fall. And then there's another interesting feature in this room which lets us add in new dominoes by pressing Q. So now that these have all fallen, we can press Q and add in new dominoes of our own. The orientation which they fall in is a little bit random. Ideally, they would spawn in straight up and down so that you could make new lines of dominoes to knock over, but for now it's more of just a fun physics object style sandbox room where you can jump around and knock the dominoes around, and it's a good time all around. We have, in testing, filled this entire room with dominoes before, and it's hilarious. Anyways, once you're done with the dominoes, you can press Z, clear them all out, except for the ones that started in the room, and then you can also press E to return to the starting room. So now heading over to our doors on the right, we'll start with room number 4, and room number 4 is a bowling lane. In here, it starts with nothing in the room, but you can press Q to spawn in 10 pins and a bowling ball. Now, the bowling ball has to be somewhat aimed by where you are standing behind it, and you walk up behind the ball and press Z to take your shot. So there we go, and then the pins will fall. In that case, it was a strike, so we can press Q to respawn the ball and the pins, and take another shot, this time trying to maybe get it off a little bit to demonstrate the aiming. There we go. That time we only hit 1 pin, so if that's the case, we can respawn just the ball right here and take another shot, trying to get the rest of the pins. And there we go, a spare. Theoretically, if you wanted to keep track of the score yourself, you could play an entire game of bowling or any number of games of bowling in this room. So, once we are done, we can reset the ball and the pins and head back to the starting room. In room number 5, this is a mini-game where you spawn in a bedroom, and you're feeling hungry for a snack at 3 a.m. So the game is to run into the kitchen, grab the snack, and run back to your room before the monsters of the night get you. And there's an interesting feature where if you grab the snack more than once, more and more monsters will spawn and chase you back to your room. So here we have this guy over here in the corner guarding the snack, and here's the snack on the table. If we grab it, he's now going to run after us, and we're going to run away from him back into the room. Once we make it into the room, he stops moving. We've made it back to the room with a snack, but there is another snack on the table over there, as you can see, if we want to go try and get it. So we'll make our way around this guy here, and do this a couple more times to demonstrate that more monsters will spawn in every time we grab the snack again. And we want to avoid touching the monsters on our way back into the room, because if we touch them, then we will be warped back into the room without the snack, which is not what we want. So I'll grab this one more time. Now there's 3 of them, so we have to get around 3. The larger ones move slower, the small one moves faster. So there we go, we've made it back to the room, and just one more time I'll demonstrate what happens if we allow the monsters to catch us. So we've got the snack, and we were grabbed by the monster and sent right back to our room with no snack. Alright, back to the main starting room to demonstrate the last minigame that we have, and I believe this one is the coolest. This is the light ring room. We don't really have a good name for this one, but it is definitely very cool. So there are asteroids floating through the room and 3 glowing rings here, and what you have to do is you can click to shoot projectiles through the rings. Sorry, that was a little louder than I expected it to be. But yes, you can shoot these laser projectile balls through the rings, and it generates some points. Meanwhile, these pink meteors are flying through the room. If you get hit by one, you actually lose some points. So you can do any number of fun games with this. Try and see how many points you can rack up without getting hit, or you can see how many points you can get in a set period of time. And there's also a toggle with the right click to turn on a crosshair if you want some more precise aiming. You can also shoot to destroy the meteors. If you shoot one of the meteors, it'll despawn it, and it won't affect your score. And, oh, that's a lot of meteors. So yeah, occasionally that'll happen where a lot spawn, just as a little challenge for the player, because otherwise they're not too much of a challenge. And yes, every time one of the rings gets shot with one of the projectiles, or if the player jumps through it, it will disappear and respawn in another part of the room. And that concludes the demonstration for all of our little minigame rooms. So thank you for watching our final demo. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let us know, and have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching.